Today, we are going to be talking about Power Rangers Unworthy. This web series has been talked about all over the internet still to this day. This show is fantastic. It is meant for adult Power Ranger fans, not kids. And there's only 8 episodes in this whole show. Kinda. Because there are filler episodes that are literally just that, filler episodes. There are typically only 4 episodes with a mini movie that are considered the 5th episode. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but there is a heavy twist out in the 5th episode at the end, and it's fantastic. Now, let's get into this very fast because it's very high-paced show, so let's make it a very high-paced episode. So in episode 1, we get to see all the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from our childhood being killed. Well, dead on the ground, besides one, the Red Ranger, Jason. He is actually going to be killed by Lord Draken. And yes, this is unique and different because you would think, if you've never seen the Unworthy show, that Lord Draken is the main character in the show. And in a way, he is. But not. Because he is the reason for this show's main enemy. And as you see him killing Jason, they find out that Billy's not dead. And right before they try to kill Billy, our main enemy of the month, the week, whatever you want to call it, shows up. And I'm going to call him Ranger 1, but his real name is... I'm the Arbiter, the first Ranger. So, he is there to grab all the power coins. He doesn't really want to kill the Rangers unless he has to. And he mentions this all through the season, all through the episodes. So, these Rangers are just being, ignorant, stupid, ready to die for being a Power Ranger, I guess. I don't know why they would want to do that, but anyways, Lord Draken, God, Lord Draken decides he's better than this guy. He can take him down. He's strong. He's powerful. And yeah, he does lose it. But the battle between him and Ranger 1 is fantastic to the point where Lord Draken takes out Saba that still has the head of Saba. Now, we're not going to get into the lore of that because this ain't really about Lord Draken to a point, but I digress. He takes Saba out and stabs Ranger 1, and Ranger 1 pretty much just laughs at him. Now, the design of Ranger 1 is this black Tyrannosaurus Ranger. Now, the thing is about that is you would think he'd be red, and later on we get a backstory, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. Ranger 1 takes out the sword and just kills Lord Draken like it was nothing. But at that time, you get to see Billy get up and use a portal device that he has to jump to another planet. Now, this planet that they were on was called 193. As you found out in the episode when he kind of talks to Lord Draken before killing him, that he says, this planet, and he names a number. Well, anyways, Billy jumps to another planet called 218. But we're going to get into that in a minute because after Billy time travels or jumps worlds, you get to see the new Power Ranger team that's based off of the second Power Ranger team and the first Power Ranger team. What do I mean by that? You get to have Rocky and Adam, and then you have Trini and Billy and Kimberly. So we get some different Rangers and get a different mix-up on this. Now, this is interesting because when you first see him, you get to see him fight the Buddy Patroller. And then Scorpina comes along and we get the very first morphing sequence that looks like this.
Today, Scorpina. Let's do it, guys.
Right.
It's morphin' time.
Pass it on. Pterodactyl.
Triceratops.
Saber-tooth tiger.
Tyrannosaurus.
This morphing sequence looks fantastic, and this is what people are comparing the Ninja Kids morphing sequence to because this shows all just visual effects pretty much. I don't know if there's any CGI in it, there probably is, but a lot of just visual effects, and it's a fantastic show. And they're fighting Scorpina, and Scorpina gets away because of this.
Go ahead.
Really?
What? I'm practicing my heroic one-liners.
No. After Scorpina gets away, it's actually going to be the very last time you see her in this web series. It's kind of sad. Now, I want to talk about the way Scorpina looks, because it's not exactly the costume that you would think of. But again, this is a different world. This is World 218 that we're gonna find out about later when Ranger 1 shows up here in a few minutes. So after they not really defeat Scorpina, but she gets away, they decide to go have some fun. Now you don't see what fun this is. You just get to go to the very next scene where they're in a parking garage, talking about how, what they did, kind of. And you get to see Kimberly plug in her phone. And the next thing you know is that the Blue Ranger, Billy from our timeline, as I'm going to call it, shows up and warns the Rangers that something evil's coming, be prepared. And by then, he gets killed by Ranger 1 because, well, that's what Ranger 1's doing, is killing off the Rangers that are giving up their power coins. In this case, they're confused. Ranger 1 tells them,
I'm the Arbiter, the first Ranger, the will of the Morphing Grid Rangers of Earth 218. Your very existence threatens the balance of the multiverse and the Morphing Grid. You have all been deemed unworthy. Relinquish your power coins willingly, or have them ripped from you.
Once again, and they don't want to listen, so we see them morph again. And for, of course, another big battle. And this Rangers just think they're the shit. And reality is they can't defeat this Ranger 1. And luckily for us, that is where this actual thing ends in episode 1. In episode 2, we get to see the Green Ranger, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. So, episode 2, let's get going.
Run. Fight. It makes no difference. The Power Rangers are no more.
Mind if I cut in? Yeah!
Tommy?
So as you saw, the Green Ranger jumps into action, saving Jason from being destroyed by Ranger 1 and saving the day, right? Well, not exactly. In this clip, you get to see the Green Ranger go at it with Ranger 1. But before Ranger 1 destroys the Green Ranger, this happens.
Green Rangers are always the most troublesome.
What a coincidence. Trouble's my middle name.
The Sixth Ranger will be the first of...
Now, did I mention that Kimberly and Tommy in this is a couple on this Earth plane? We find that out more later on in this episode. There's actually a two-parter, but we're going to make it into a one-parter for this video. So, Kimberly saves Tommy to teleport out.
Sorry, I'm allergic to villainous monologues. Tommy, let's go.
But what you see next is really confusing to a point. You get to see Ranger 1 do this.
Annoying, but futile.
Now, as Ranger 1 makes them teleport not to the command center, but to an alleyway, makes it very unique and very different to the nitty-gritty of this detail episode. So after they land in the alleyway, they realize that they have to figure out a way to defeat Ranger 1. And it's almost physically impossible. They're realizing that he's a time traveler. He has defeated a lot of different Rangers and stuff. So when he comes back into the alleyway, they realize that they're going to try to talk to him and say this.
No matter how far you run, no matter where you try to hide, there is no escaping fate. Forfeit your power coins, or forfeit your lives.
I don't think it's gonna give us a choice, Rocky.
Wait! We're not your enemy, and we're definitely not a threat to the multiverse. We're Power Rangers just like you.
They'll
the
find
good
out
guys.
he doesn't give a crap. He doesn't care. So Tommy says, everybody run away. we got this. And what does he mean by we got this? He means Kimberly and her has this. And they're going to do a famous dragon arrow. Now, we have seen this before. Now, remember, a lot of this stuff that you see in this web series is stuff that has been in actual Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in some way or another. So, none of this is a surprise, but it's kind of interesting. So, they're going to shoot out a dragon arrow. So, Kimberly starts out and does this. And then they're getting ready to do this. And we see this. No, not that. We see this.
Dragon arrow! Yes! A direct hit!
Now let's get out of here. You saw how tough that thing was.
You're right. Let's catch up to the others.
And then they run away from Ranger 1 to say, if we demorph, we'll be safe. And you know what? We've seen this before in Once and For Always as well. We've seen this in other episodes of Power Rangers. So this is kind of cool little, information. Now remember, this came out way before Once and Always did. So it's interesting to see this back then and to see it Once and Always and doing it. It's good. But that is pretty much it. At the end of this episode, you see Ranger 1 talking about this.
You only delay the inevitable.
Now, like I said, this is a two-parter episode. So this is part 1 or 2. So we're going to move into part 2. But it's very much just a continuation of this to a point where you see them in a different location. So they're in this warehouse type location. And Billy has figured out that the little device he has is a teleportation device for different planets. And he says, if I can power this, we could probably get to Zordon, the command center and all that. But he realizes how he has to power it is through the power coins. But just wait. Is that a Super Nintendo on the table right there? It is a Super Nintendo on the table. That throws way back into the 90s nostalgia. Now, this is really cool to see because it means Billy is just as much of a scientist as the Billy we had in our original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on this universe. But we also get to find out a little bit more of the back Kimberly and Tommy here and how, they're kind of like a couple. The first time you actually get to see them as being a couple. Now, you did get to see this a little bit in that first episode without knowing it when they're texting each other. But that wasn't really explained very well because it's just a quick text. Nobody probably even read that text. I know I didn't when I watched it. But if you want to see it, here's the text message. Now, Billy is Billy, and when he gets excited, he goes in and runs in and does this at the wrong moment.
Guys, I figured it out.
Great, Billy.
Now, as that is going on, they all go talk to Billy and agree to morph.
Excellent! That's on! Pterodactyl!
Triceratops.
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus.
Because they want to get to Zordon. Now, when they do this, Ranger 1 does not let them go to Zordon. He puts them in some kind of dimension. Well, you'll see.
King?
And then when that happens, of course they're all confused, all like, what's going on here, right? And they start a big battle with Ranger 1. And unfortunately, this sort of thing gets kind of, because not only do they kill Rangers in this episode, they kill the Black Ranger, and they actually do kill Tommy. So I'm going to show you the Tommy death here because it's kind of cut into a few scenes, but I'm just going to put it in one here because I think it's something you guys need to see.
Tommy. I got this.
Fight. It makes no difference.
And something about this Tommy death that I want you guys to see is the flashback of Kimberly and Tommy meeting.
It's okay. You're okay.
So in this episode, we get to see Zach back in the same location as we had in our very first episode in the parking garage. And Putty Patrollers show up and he decides to fight the Putty Patroller. He decides to pull out his morpher. Now, remember, this Zach is from the same universe as these Rangers are at the moment. Now, why does Zach have the Black Ranger morpher? And why does Adam have one? Well, it wasn't explained, but Zach's morpher here, as you see, is broken, destroyed. So, makes me think a little bit like they just kind of like reversing the like storylines between the actual Mighty Morphin story and the one we have. So, anyways, he morphs. He's feeling fantastic. He pulls out the power axe, and this happens. It's kind of comical. He can't even lift the power axe because his powers are so weak. But here's the deal. He defeats the Putty Patroller, happy, he loses his powers. And next thing you know...
Zachary Taylor of Earth 218. You have been deemed unworthy.
He dies? We think? Maybe? But yeah, let's get into the next episode. This episode is so important to their whole web series. It's crazy. You get to see the whole backstory of Ranger 1. Not only that, you get to see some trials of the Rangers, and you get to continue on where we left off in episode 2. So in the last episode, you saw the portal open. You saw Tommy basically dying in Kimberly's arms and Adam dying in front of Jason. Jason gets Adam's power coin from Adam. Tommy hands over her power coin to Kimberly, and out comes the Silver Ranger from the portal. Now, I'll admit, when I first saw the boots of the Silver Ranger, I thought it was the White Ranger with some kind of like different color. But to find out the Silver Ranger is actually a Time Force Ranger was a fantastic, wonderful, mind-blowing idea. But here we go. He comes out of the portal, and what happens? He's ready to kill Ranger 1 in front of all the other Rangers. But he's also telling the Rangers to get out through the portal to become safe. Now, you'll see a little battle of Silver Ranger versus Ranger 1.
You again.
Chrono Shifter, activate! Laser cannon! Eat this, you son of a bitch! Move, damn it! If you guys want to live, get to the portal now!
I think that is one of the coolest scenes ever, him pulling out the power bow and axe together and using it to damage Ranger 1, basically. But Ranger 1, heals up real fast. And he sees Kimberly not leaving, and he goes, let's go, get out. And even Jason said that earlier, to the point where the Silver Ranger gets really ticked off and pulls her. Oh, well, here, you're going to see it right now.
Kim, come on!
No, I can't leave Tommy. Go without us.
Ah, come on! Not now! Shit! Chrono Shifter, activate! Quantum blast, fire! Damn it! Come on! We have to go!
No, wait! We can't just leave her.
You are all
There's nothing you can do for it. We have to go now.
Now, if that wasn't dark enough for you, where Kimberly actually sees her girlfriend Tommy die from Ranger 1, I don't know what's even darker than that, because that would have been horrifying for anybody that's in a relationship. So after they step out of the portal, we get to learn that the Silver Ranger's name is Chrono Ranger. I think that's a fantastic name. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. But here we go. He decides that he wants to make sure that the other Rangers know who they're fighting against. And I think that's a totally awesome idea. So he tells them eons ago, the Morphing Grid chose this person, or whatever he's supposed to be the very first Red Ranger. And as you see here, that he's fighting this monster to protect this woman. It looks like maybe she's blue, maybe she's from Eltar, who knows. But anyways, protects her, gives her back the stuffed animal, as you see. And then we get to learn that someone's messing with time and space. And who do we think that might be? Well, anyways, you get to see the Red Ranger fight Lord Draken, as I pronounce it. Anyways, and I like the design of the Red Ranger. It's fantastic design. But also you get to see this clip where you see Ranger 1 pick up the same teddy bear, but it's on fire. Now, that might be a little confusing, but if you're going through time and space, you've just messed up some things, you know. As we all know, you don't mess with time. Time makes things bad. So he gets to see from a distance, at least I'm assuming he sees from a distance, them arguing and fighting. Well, about ready to fight, I should say. Jason pulls out the power sword. Lord Draken pulls out his, well, Saba, you know, and ready to kill him. But before that happens, he tells the Red Ranger that this device he has in his hand is from Finster 5. I don't know who Finster 5 is, but the device lets him go through time and space and let him do whatever he wants. Now, if you remember Lord Draken from like the Boom comics, the whole concept was them writing this character as destroying every Ranger. Now, we also get to see that in the Power Ranger game that I played on this channel, and it's a fantastic storyline. But in this case, Ranger 1 has decided to take that power from Lord Draken by killing Lord Draken and the Red Ranger. And as soon as he gets the power, he decides to go to the next part of it. And he kills so many different Rangers. I'm not going to actually explain all the Rangers he kills because that's a lot. I will let you guys watch the episode for all the death. He ends up in the command center. I'm going to let you hear the whole audio clip right now.
Much pain. So much rage. I can't imagine the tragedy you must have endured on your world. But you must see that the Power Rangers are an elite fighting force for good. Draken was my greatest failure. But there are Power Rangers across time and space that protect innocent lives.
I've seen only that absolute power corrupts absolutely, Wizard. I ask you, who has more power than those vain enough to call themselves Power Rangers? You turn children into gods and expect there to be no consequences.
Make no mistake. What you're planning to do next is irredeemable. It's evil.
Then for the good of the innocent you claim to protect, we shall let the Morphin Grid be the arbiter of my fate. I pray I'm wrong, and that my torment ends with you.
No! Wait!
Then, I am the will of the Morphin Grid. And the Power Rangers are no more.
So that was a lot of information. Knowing that Zordon was the Morphing Grid. Now, in space, he sent out the Z-Wave to make everybody, you know, good again, human again, destroy all evil. In this case, he was the Morphing Grid, and when it was destroyed, he got hit. Ranger 1 got hit by Zordon's wave and became the most powerful Ranger because he is the Morphing Grid, like he says. Now, after the backstory is done, we go back to the Chrono Trigger and the Ranger. Now, you get to see the Red Ranger and the Chrono Ranger talk about the power sword that the Chrono Ranger has.
Power sword! It's really gone.
Better a sword than your life. As long as you still draw breath, you can still fight. With or without a weapon. This sword belonged to a legendary Red Ranger. He died fighting the Arbiter. I'm no Red Ranger, clearly, so I can't tap into its full potential. But maybe you can. Only a Ranger worthy of leadership can wield it. Maybe not just yet.
You get to see Kimberly getting over the heartache of Tommy dying. You get to see Billy and Trini working together to fix the portal, because the reason why the Chrono Trigger went through the portal originally is because he had it set too high. And that's how Ranger Vaughn found him. But at the end of this episode, you get to see Kimberly pretty much step up in a brand new Ranger outfit that looks pretty damn cool. Here we go.
How do we stop him?
Together. We do it for Adam and Tommy and every team this thing has tore apart before us. Rocky's right. No more running. Now, we fight.
We work together as a team. We formulate a plan.
We use the Chrono Shifter to our advantage.
We call in the reinforcements.
Next time, we'll show them what the Power Rangers of Earth 218 can really do.
So we finally get our very first theme song for this web series, and it is a fantastic theme song. Go check it out on the Unworthy page, because I'm not going to play it here because I do not want a copyright strike on this video. Now, when we move into the actual episode, it opens up like this.
I'm sorry. I couldn't save you, but I swear, I will avenge you.
Hey, Chrono. Penny for your thoughts?
Actually, in the future, we have credits. But sure, if she could see you right now, I think she would have been proud.
I swear I'm going to make the Arbiter pay for what he did.
We will. Tommy sacrificed herself so that this team could have a fighting chance. We won't let that be in vain.
Yeah. The team.
You know, you never told us about your team.
You said I'll remind you of your mentor. What did you mean by that?
That day, I lost so much more than just my arm. I lost everything.
Now, as you see, we got Trini talking to the Chrono Ranger and Pink Dragon Ranger talking to him as well, asking about his passing. Yes, I called it the Pink Dragon Ranger because of, combined together in this case. And anyway, so he opens up talking about how the Korg is the main enemy and they have a virus taking over themselves so they can get Ranger power. And I'm going to let you actually hear the whole scene right now.
Intel indicates the last dregs of the Machine Empire have been rebuilt and enhanced by a sentient techno-organic virus. Codename Legion.
A living computer virus?
From another dimension. Our contact at Grid Battle Force says it's gone by multiple aliases. Evox, Venjix. But Multiversal R&D confirms trace amounts of its code contaminated in Morphex-powered prototype they were developing. The Chrono Shifter. It's an experimental morpher with brute force access to the morphing grid on a transdimensional level. It was meant for generating advanced Ranger weaponry via space-time. But if the Legion virus is able to fully assimilate the Chrono Shifter's tech and bypass its emergency access firewalls,
Venjix could infect the entire morphing grid.
So as you see in the scene, they're talking about how the Machine Empire is infected by this virus that lets them have Ranger powers if they get the Chrono Trigger up and running. Now, as you see in the next scene, that the Chrono Trigger is up and running because the Korg can pull out the Power Sword. And this is a weird little situation because that Power Sword is from the 2017 movie. And it looks fantastic on these Korgs. Anyways, Moving on, we get our villain of this story, and it's Vengeance. Now, I think this villain, I've heard the name before, but we get a little battle, and of course, the Yellow Ranger that comes in to help the Silver Ranger thinks she can defeat Vengeance in the good old-fashioned way. Well, Vengeance tells them that the Chrono Trigger is working and he can control the morphing grid. Now, this gets interesting because we're getting a conflict of interest here. He can control the morphing grid. Ranger 1 can control the morphing grid. Remember this, because it becomes very interesting in this episode. When he actually does morph, the morphing secrets is really cool.
You brightly colored nuisances. I've already won.
Ah, shit.
Don't do it! You're gonna destroy the grid!
It's morphing time.
Damn it! Command, we're too late. Venjix is already infecting the morphin grid.
Then the only way to stop the Legion virus now is to physically sever his connection to the grid. You'll need to put him on ice before the Chrono Shifter's emergency firewalls can be bypassed.
A machine ranger.
The next step in your evolution, Rangers.
Backup won't make it in time. It's all up to you two now.
Now, as he's morphing, you get to hear the Silver Ranger talk, about it. And we get an awesome battle to end Vengeance. And that battle is going on the screen right now. As you see, they're doing a typical Time Force ending battle scene. And it's a fantastic scene. After they destroy him and capture him in the jar, because you remember, we do not destroy enemies in Time Force. We capture them and put them in, jail, basically. And so you got Jen, the Pink Ranger, showing up now. Remember, Jen is important to this episode with the Silver Ranger, because Jen traps him, talking to them about how good job they're doing and everything. And I know I'm kind of rushing through this because this episode, in my opinion, is kind of a filler episode, but it's still important, especially the ending of this episode. So, talking how good they are, and Jen basically disappears from the scene, kinda. They demorph. They're talking together, Yellow Ranger, Silver Ranger, about how, without each other, they're not gonna, be able to fight big enemies. It's just kind of one of those friendship type things. Well, out of nowhere, here comes Ranger 1, ready to go. And Ranger 1 sees
What's happening out there?
Jen, what's going on?
I'm not sure. Something's happening. Run.
Wait!
Time for!
Now, again, he's not sure what he's up against. Neither is the Yellow Ranger. And so they have an epic battle. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because time is getting long on this video. We need to get to the final episode. So they have an epic battle, and of course he saves the Yellow Ranger, and then the Yellow Ranger saves him after he gets his arm chopped off. And yes, let's see that footage. Let's see it because it is fantastic.
Fight. It makes no difference. The Power Rangers are no more.
Yeah, that scream sounded really real. But anyways, Yellow Ranger comes in to save him. Yellow Ranger dies in his arms, just like Tommy did in 2.2 episode with Kimberly. Pink Ranger gets up out of nowhere, starts firing at Ranger 1 and telling the Silver Ranger to get up and get going. Fantastic. So he gets up, gets going. he has the chrono trigger in his hand, I should say. And yeah, he fixes his arm, puts on the chrono trigger, figures out that he can use different Power Ranger weapons from different times in his universe. And we basically get the ending of his story. Now, the one that I forgot to mention was that Vengeance does come back to life because the jar does drop. He comes back to life and tries to convince Ranger 1 to partner up. And of course, Ranger 1 sees that he has the power of Power Rangers, the Morphing Grid, and he says, "You're using it, wrong," basically, and kills him again. So he gets killed twice in this episode. Well, theoretically 3 times, but after all that, the Chrono Ranger fixes his arm, has the Chrono Trigger now. That's why he's calling himself Chrono Ranger. And we get back to wherever we were at originally on that grassy field over Angel Grove, I'm assuming. And they're talking about their game plan. Now, this is where it gets interesting because the game plan is simple. And here we go.
And that's how the Arbiter destroyed my entire world.
I am so sorry for your loss.
There's a trail of dead bodies across the multiverse that weren't just lucky. I'm not asking for pity. I only want one thing. Revenge for every Ranger that he's murdered.
Are you crying?
No!
Thank you for sharing that with us. The Arbiter's taken too much from all of us.
He has to be stopped. I know we're not the first Rangers to try, but I also know that we have what it takes to win this. Billy's plan is solid. All we need to do is make an opening.
I admire your confidence as always, Red. But I don't even think all of us together would be enough to stop him.
So then, let's find more of us.
You can call me the Chrono Ranger. And this is a message to every Power Ranger in the multiverse. If you're hearing this, we need your help. Ninja Earth 218. You redeemed.
So, you come to challenge the great ninja?
No.
We have finally reached Ninja's Oath. Now, this is a battle between Ninja and Ranger 1, and it is a fantastic battle to the death, because that's what Ranger 1's doing, right? It's killing all the Power Rangers and all everything that's a Morphing Grid. But in this episode, there is a cliffhanger, kinda. So you get to see Ranger 1 battle Ninja. Now, we've seen some of this battle in previous episodes. Now, I'm not going to show it to you here because I think you guys need to go watch it yourself because it's an exciting, awesome fighting episode. But here's the thing. I have to spoil it for you guys because at the end of this, you see the portal open up and Ninja hearing the voice of the Chrono Ranger saying, "Come join us," like he's been saying through the other episodes. Anyways, it goes to the credit scenes, and if you watch it through the credits, you'll see the actual ending of this episode. Finally made it to Psycho Madness, the mini movie of this century when it comes to the Unworthy production. Now, this film is actually made by the Unworthy production and Fight for Film. And I don't even know who Fight for Film is, but whoever they are, they did a fantastic job with this movie. Now, this movie is based around so many different elements. It's crazy. You got the Lost Galaxy element, you got Megaforce, Psycho Rangers, and In Space element. Now, I know that's a lot to think about, but let's get started with this right now. So when we open up the scene, we get to see all 4 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers dead on the ground besides the Red Ranger. He's still alive and active. He's fighting for his life. Also, we got Ninja fighting for his life. Unfortunately, they both die. And then we also got Andros and Zane. And Zane dies again. We have seen Zane die now twice in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We got the actual In Space episode where he semi-dies, but he comes back to life later on in the show. And this one, he just dies. Okay, he just dies. He doesn't show back up. He dies. Andros gets killed by the Psycho Red Ranger, we think. By the all the way, it looks like he dies. We get to see a purple Psycho Ranger named Empress Psycho. And this is fantastic because we don't figure out who Empress Psycho is until later on in the episode. Andros does not die. He comes up, brings himself back up, cloak over himself like you see in a lot of the In Space episodes. Fantastic way to open it. The Machine Empire falls again. Kinda. And then we get the true opening scene where the Morphin Master comes up and talks. Here we go.
The multiverse. Shattered dimensions. Bound by the infinite power of the Morphin Grid. Life is more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibility. In this reality, a dark empire reigns, and the light of hope dwindles. I am a Morphin Master. Follow me to this lost galaxy.
So 25 years have passed, and they're going after the Lost Galaxy Space Center, spaceship, space center, whatever you want to call it. And they take it over. Beautifully easy, take it over. They enter it, kill a lot of the people, find out there's another set of Rangers going to become Rangers. GSA Power Rangers, also known as Megaforce Rangers. This is fantastic. I love this concept that they're bringing in another set of Rangers after all the Rangers on the universes have died. Well, in their universe, Universe 1-95, have died. Now, we think all of them died. Now, remember, Andros is not dead. 25 years later, they're on their spaceship, killing everybody. They get into the room that the Megaforce Rangers are about ready to morph, and Empress Psycho stops the morphing sequence, kills a Ranger right in front of all the other Rangers, and asks the Psycho Gold Ranger to kill the rest. But right at that point, right when he was about ready to kill one of them, the alarm goes off to find Psycho Green being attacked by the Astro Megaship. Yes, the Astro Megaship does make an appearance in this, and again, is a lot of music that I don't know who made the music, where it came from, but I gotta say, I'm gonna show you the clip of the Astro Megaship.
The Astro Megaship.
See, the Astro Megaship is awesome looking. They did a fantastic job on the special effects, everything. I'm loving it, right? So he's coming to fight the Psycho Rangers. Well, that would be the concept we would think, right? Now, Andros is Andros in this. He is a perfect recreation of In Space, to the point where we find out that after he gets past Psychos Red and Gold, after destroying them, we get our very first look at why he is exactly going after the Psychos. Well, believe it or not, guess who is Psycho Purple?
I'm sorry I've let this nightmare continue for so long. Corone.
Don't ever say that name!
That's right, Corona is the Psycho Empress in this show. And again, she is perfect as a Psycho Ranger in this case. Everything from her attitude, from the memory issues, when he pulls out the locket. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you a lot of this because they show actual in-space episodes, parts. And I do not want to be copyright claimed or striked on this because of it. So they do have an epic battle. And again, the battle is happening as soon as who shows up? That's right. Ranger 1 shows up and does this.
Fair play, boys. You got me. How about we talk?
He kills a Psycho Ranger so fast that everybody's head spins. And then when he gets on the ship, he's only looking for the Power Rangers. But because of the Lost Galaxy's soldiers, the protectors of Earth, or whatever you want to call them, is using the power of the morphing grid in their weapons, he starts killing them because it's a threat to the morphing grid. Remember this. He's not there to kill anybody besides the people that are attacking him and the people that won't give up the power coins. So it's kind of a weird situation. But when he enters the room, this happens.
What the hell is that? You dare challenge me?
You can call me the Chrono Ranger. But this is a message to every Power Ranger in the multiverse. For hearing this, we need your help.
You underestimate my power.
Remember when I said it had a very interesting cliffhanger? It was something that I was not expecting. Well, if you went to go watch the episode, you would know that Andros and Corone go through the portal together. And that is the end of the episode. Well, you get Ranger 1 saying this.
Fight. It makes no difference. The Power Rangers are no more.
So my final thoughts on this web series is it's a 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Go tell the Unworthy team that you want this to be finished because it's open-ended. And just like some of the other web series that I'm going to talk about on this channel, might have open endings, and I don't know yet because I haven't watched them. Or maybe they have final, episodes. We'll find out. I want comments down below, leaving comments about what web series you want me to watch. A Power Rangers, Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers. I don't know what kind of web series there are out there, but they have to be Sentai based or Power Ranger based type, web series. But overall, this web series was fantastic. It was in your face, mind blowing. Go watch it. Support the teams. Talk to Fight for Film about it too, because this is just mind blowing. Now, thanks for watching. If you like this video, you might like this video over here,